Today we're going to start our watercolor demonstration with our Victorian House project. We're going to do the intro and then we're going to do a wash in the sky, and I'll show you how to do the wash for the sky. So as you can see in my earlier demonstration here, I've got kind of a sunset situation where I've got an orange, yellow, sun-like situation down here. It's getting a little cooler, going up to red, and then it's going up into blue and purple in the sky, and I've got some clouds that I've blotted out with my paper towel. I'm going to show you how to do all of that right after I get done demonstrating and talking about the materials you'll be using. So here are our materials. We have 4 different paint brushes we're going to choose between. This is my one project that I really like to give you guys nice materials. So you're going to be working with some nice stuff. We've got the palettes. This is where you'll be making your watercolor wash. It should be cleaned out and very nice and neat looking like this. We've got 4 different kinds of brushes. These 2 here are natural bristle brushes. They're made out of camel hair. They're nice and smooth. They hold lots of water, so they're good for washes like in the sky. And then you've got these smaller detail ones that are also natural bristle, which will be good for making washes in areas that are smaller, like let's say the siding or the trim or something. Okay, these 2 are natural bristle. These 2 are nylon. These have a good snap. They hold less water, and they let the water out a little slower than the natural bristle ones. So they're good for detail, and they're good for places where you have to be very careful and cautious. They are really great detail brushes, and I use these brushes on my own sometimes at home, or brushes similar to them when I'm doing my own watercoloring. Okay. Normally in the past we've had these kind of, just the 8 color containers. There's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, brown, and black, and I usually say don't use brown and black, right? But today we're going to be working with these ones for this project. This is a 16 color water set. It's got a bunch of extra options. It's got the regular one on that side, and on this second side you've got all the intermediate colors which you learned about last year in your temper painting assignment, and it also has white, so you can kind of make some new options with that. There's one of these for each person, and they need to be kept clean. If they are not kept clean and we don't do a good job of putting them away, we will just go back to the regular old 8 style one. Okay, so please do a thoughtful job of cleaning up, a thoughtful job of keeping these nice, because I'll just put them away if we don't. Likewise with these brushes, these are all special watercolor brushes. These are not our regular brushes that I have sitting next to the counter. These kind of brushes get put away in the particular pot that they came from, and then these all get put away up in the cabinet so nobody else uses these for clay projects or temper painting or anything. These are special watercolor brushes, so these brushes need to go back in the right container when you're done with them. Okay, so let's get started. Number 1, this is my painting I'm going to be working on today. We're going to be making our sky, and we're going to have to be working on that sky part. So I'm going to actually turn my paper upside down, because that's how I do the sky, so I'm always pulling towards me rather than pushing up. And we're going to have to get some water. You should have, I'm going to set my brushes over here so we can use them as we go. You should have 1 clean water cup. You should have 1 empty water cup to dump your old water in once you've got it, once you're done with it, and you should have a little bitty water cup for your own personal use. It is very, very important that you keep your brushes clean and neat and really well rinsed out while you're working on this project, so that you can make the nice colors that you want. You should also have paper towels for blotting. I'm going to put my blotting paper towels right down here. You can kind of see them on the screen there. You should have a couple paper towels to blot your brush on, and we're going to use one to blot in our sky as well. As you get started, here's your palette. I'm going to be kind of moving my palette in and out as I work, so you can see what I've got in my palette and you can see how I'm using it, but I'm not wasting my visual camera space with my palette, okay, because I'm going to have to use all that space. Notice before I do anything, I'm getting a couple divots of clean fresh water before I get my brush dirty or messy. Then I'm going to start by watering my watercolors. Sometimes if they're already wet, your watercolors don't need to be watered. These have been sitting here for a long time, so they need to be watered. I'm only doing the sky, so I'm going to choose my warm colors, and I'm going to choose blue and purple. I'm not going to use green in my sky. And then I'm actually going to get these ones wet as well, just because I think I'm going to use some magenta in there. And I might use this cool blue violet and the blue turquoise because I like those colors. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do what's called creating a wash. Now, you've all learned in previous assignments that yes, a watercolor wash is when you mix a little bit of watercolor with some water, okay, and it does a nice job of being thin and even. Okay, so here you go. I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow and make a yellow wash. Okay, notice I'm being gentle with my brush, and notice that I'm using my natural bristle brush because I'm making a wash. I don't want the nylon one because it's going to be too snappy. It's going to not release the water the right way. I'm going to grab some of this orange and make a warm orange wash. Okay, and the thing about watercolor is you do really want to make washes. You can glaze, it's called glazing, and you take one wash and put it over the next, on top of the next, on top of the next, and you can get really nice, rich, luscious colors by overlapping them. Now I'm going to get some blue. I'm going to get this bluish violet here. Okay. Now I'm getting into my intermediate colors because this is blue violet. Okay, and then I'm going to get this violet red magenta color. Okay, I'm going to put that in the sky as well. Okay, so there we go. I've got all my washes ready to go. I'm going to take my old dirty water here, dump it into my old dirty water cup, okay, and get some clean fresh water. Alright, now when I blot my brush out, I'm going to make sure that there's no color left in it because we don't want any color in there. We just want to make sure we have a nice even color. Now, I'm working with my paper upside down. You can see everything. And I'm going to start with just my yellow. Start with my yellow, and I'm going to do a very light wash right down here by this tree. Okay, for my kind of sunset situation. You want to kind of cut in and do a nice job of not overlapping too much. And if you do overlap, like I accidentally did right there, you can take a little piece of paper towel and blot right next to it and kind of pull that water out. Okay. Now I'm going to just have a little bit of yellow in there. Now I'm going to kind of move to my orange. Okay. And move down this way. And notice here when I blend them together, they're going to give me a nice color in between my yellows. It's going to give me a nice little warm yellowish orange. I'm going to take a little bit more orange and bring it up here. I'm actually going to go inside this window here a little bit because remember we can see through this window. So I'm gonna do it like that. I'm actually gonna make those top ones kind of stained glass windows, so I don't want to go into that too much. Then I'm gonna wash my brush out, get some red here. I'm gonna kind of pull it down into my orange. Okay. And then we're gonna go up to our blues, and this is kind of where the fun starts. Okay, not that that part wasn't fun, but I'm gonna get this blue, and I'm actually gonna get some more clean fresh water because this blue is a little too blue, I think. We'll see here. No, that's not too bad. I'm going to wash this on. And I'm going to try to leave it nice and watery. And I'll tell you why here. Because we are going to brush out, we're going to blot out some clouds in just a second here. Okay, and that's a really deep blue, actually kind of deeper than I was planning on. I wanted it to be a little more on the turquoisey green side, so I'm going to add some turquoise green in there. I'm going to get some more water in here. Okay, there we go. That's kind of more what I wanted, a cooler blue, so I kind of oopsed on that, but we'll make it work. Okay, now I'm actually going to take this paper and I'm going to kind of tilt it a little bit and get this water to run down. I don't want it running in my house. One of the things about watercolor is water is going to go wherever gravity takes it. So if you don't have it in the right place and the water starts to curl, okay, and the water starts to curl the paper, it's going to be kind of in the wrong place, and you don't want that to happen. So here we go, going over this corner here. Now I'm going to do the fun part. This is called blotting. I'm going to take my brush, set it aside, get a paper towel here. I'm going to crinkle it up into a ball, and I'm going to blot out a nice big cloud here. What you do is you just take your paper towel, scrunch it up, and smush it down into the sky. I'm going to do another one right here. And you have to press down hard. You don't want to smear it back and forth. You just want to press down. Okay? If you smear it back and forth, you're not going to do anything. It's just going to be sitting there and smearing the color around. But this way, if you blot it and you press down hard, it'll give you a nice cloud look. Okay? So there's our clouds. We're going to let that dry for a second. And since this is a demonstration, I'm just going to wipe up my table here so I don't continue to smear that paint around, and we want that to dry. Try to speed things up here. Now, since this part here is dry already, because I blotted out the water with my paper towel, this part's dry, whereas this part here and this part here has just a little bit of water left in it, which is fine, which is good. We want that little bit of water left in there because that's going to soak up the paint rather than have the paint go into our clouds. Since our clouds, see, water is such, dumping out my old water there, water is such that water wants to attract more water to it. So if there's no water here and there's a little bit here, the water is going to want to go that way into the place that's already wet. It's going to stay away from that place that is already dry. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of this this warm magenta, and I'm going to just brush it right across the top of this guy here. And notice how if I just kind of go right next to the edge, it kind of goes close to that cloud, but it doesn't go inside of it as easily because it's dried, right? And now I can do something even better. I can take this brush, really dry my brush out, and I can kind of roll it around and make some other, kind of soak out that water. So I can make some places a little lighter, leave some places a little darker, so that we've got some real nice contrast. Notice how this darker color here gives us that contrast. Okay, I'm going to take some more of this turquoisey blue now, and I'm going to brush it in here. Okay. And now I'm going to get some clean fresh water and brush with clean fresh water to blend that area in. So right now I'm showing you a different technique, and this is the kind of wet on wet with just water, right? So I'm kind of using the paint that's already there to kind of do a wet on wet blending. Okay, and I'm going to take some of this turquoise again. Now I'm going to have to paint a little backwards here. I'm going to put it right underneath this cloud to give me some more contrast here. Okay, see how I did that? Now I'm going to get that clean fresh water again. I'm going to kind of blend it down into that reddish patch there so that we kind of get that dull look, like it's like the clouds are kind of mingling together. So you can see those two clouds I've got there now are really nice as far as looking like solid cloudy kind of looks. And if I tip this paper around now, you can really kind of get the more of the visual effect of those two clouds. And if I take this paper towel now, I'm just going to kind of blend this area together, kind of smooth it out, even it down so it's not so lined in. And now I'm going to take this brush and I'm just going to get right next to the edge of my house here and kind of pull a little of that color out so it doesn't look so shapy. Alright, and there we go. I'm actually going to go back now because I realize that I forgot to go inside this window. There. Now we can see through that one too. Good. So there is the final demonstration of the sky. Notice I used pretty much this big wash color brush, and I did not use my little detail ones very much at all. Okay, so that concludes our demonstration for the sky. Things you're going to do: create a light wash and put it near your horizon line first. That's the yellow and orange part. Then create the wash in your sky. That's the bluish, purple, turquoisey part up there. And all your skies are going to look different. I'm giving you the artistic choice to choose what colors you want in your sky. You don't have to use the magenta if you don't want to. You can have more blue, you can have more purple, whatever you want. It's going to be your own thing. But you do have to do a wet and wet wash, and you do have to blot those clouds out. So blend your skies together, different parts of your sky together with the wet on wet wash. That is a must. And then blot your clouds out with your paper towel. That is a must. Those two things are on your self-evaluation. They have to be done. Those are skills that I am looking for. Okay? So with that, look to me for your pass out jobs, and we'll get started on our sky.